Hypixel Skyblock has been out for over 2 years now, but there's never been the 1.0 update. We've gotten 0 point stuff updates, and we are finally ready for the 1.0 release of Skyblock. Or at least that's what the admins are saying in some recent Skyblock news posts that they've made on the forum and on Twitter. So let's do a deep dive into the Skyblock 1.0 notes and how they're planning on releasing it, because there's honestly some huge news in here that could have some big implications, and honestly, all of it sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't found anything that I think seems bad in it yet, so let's go over it together. The first thing has to do with where we are now, the hub. They say that as soon as you enter the portal, you're supposed to enter the more social aspect of the game. They want to enhance all of the positive aspects of that and remove and change the mechanics that cause toxic behavior. That is a lot of them. And make sure that seeing players around you is actually making the game better and not worse. The next thing really has to do with progression and your ability to play the game in different ways. So right now, if you want to progress through the game, basically, you kind of have to do dungeons. We've seen people try to hold out, like 30 virus, and eventually you just sort of have to if you want to keep playing the game, because the meta moves on, the meta comes to include basically everything from dungeons, and you get left behind. But one of their goals is to make people be able to express their more creativity in the game, and they should be able to do whatever they want. Two players should be able to have very different experiences and not just have to go to one stage of the game because of the meta. That's going to be talked about a lot in this update, letting people pick where they want to go without having one progression path that is just, okay, you have to do this in early game, then this in mid game, then grind dungeons, then do this, get Catacombs 50, etc. They also say that all progression should be rewarding, and they're trying to get rid of things that are just grindy with no point in the game. They want every grind to be interesting, and that it can appeal to some players. So, the large focus of the update is going to be put on making it clearer, more meaningful, and making it more progressive, basically, making it change as you go along. That's definitely going to be seen in the next thing we talk about, which is skills. As you probably know, they've added a lot of variation to some skills, like mining, with commissions and different things. Skills are linked to items to unlock different content, enchantments, added commissions, skill trees like the Heart of the Mountain tree, and they've given a bunch of skills revamps, and stuff like the Jacobs contest to just make skills more interesting. Before the Jacobs contest, farming was just farming. There was nothing else. With the Jacobs contest, there's so many more aspects to it. It's easier to build farms. You get more drops, it's easier to get to farming 50, everything like that, and it's just a better game overall. But they say they're not satisfied with it, which is honestly fantastic for all of the players, perhaps not the people who've already grinded the skills to like level 50 or something, because they're probably going to make them slightly easier, or maybe they're just going to add way more levels and make them harder. We really don't know, but yeah, it honestly seems like they're trying to do a great job. And one thing that I really like is that they want a skill to be varied. They want a skill to have a lot of different gameplay lines, and not just the same thing over and over again. They want to make each skill fun. They need to have different types of gameplay that different people will enjoy, and make sure everyone can have fun doing every game, basically making them feel more like a mini-game. They say that that's the reason foraging isn't unlocking anything, because it's not fun, and they want to make it more entertaining before adding content to it. They say that a skill should not require a player to do the same action from level 1 to 60. They give farming as an example. They don't want you to have to build farms on your island, so they might add another farming island that then you could go on, and they would have larger groves of farms and stuff like that. There also shouldn't be one crop that's best from level 10 to 60. There should be multiple crops that you can change up the way you're grinding. After you get to level 60, or even before, you can pick which crop you want to grind, and they should all have their own pros and cons, not just one being, oh wow, this one is the best for money, and that's pretty much it. Also, the skills should really be rewarding. If every skill is rewarding in a different way, players will want to play them, and honestly, that is the goal. They do say that they like the duration of time it takes to get from skill average 1 to 50. So, they're probably not going to increase that amount of time. But they also don't want to make skills completely overpowered by adding tons more levels beyond stuff like 60. Every few levels should offer a new thing, not just the first couple. Like if we look on a skill tree right now, farming for example, we see at the very start you get the barn, then a little bit later you get the mushroom desert, and then basically after that you get pretty much nothing for basically the rest of the game. and then you're done. Which makes farming kind of boring. What if instead there were a bunch of different level requirements and different things that showed up in the skills menu, different islands, different parts of islands, different things that you would want to do in the game because they were fun. That seems like it's what they actually want to achieve, and honestly, it sounds incredible. One thing that I find awesome is they said they might add something similar to the mining commission system, which made mining way more fun to grind, way easier to grind, and just have a lot more variation. They might add stuff like that to other skills. Skill trees might be added to other skills like the Heart of the Mountain, and things will be different in the skill tree overall. And they also say most skill items will have a level requirement. If it's an item that's useful for a skill, it will probably have a level requirement. This actually could be a problem for players that bought booster cookies and stuff like that. Because what if you bought, like, dragon armor, or dragon armor already has a requirement, but buying an item that doesn't have as high a combat requirement and then they raise that a bunch can be a pretty big problem with you if you just paid your way to the top. But they probably don't want people to be able to do that really anyway, so I think these are positive changes. So it seems like 1.0 is shaping to be an excellent update. If you did enjoy this video, I will keep you updated on all of the 1.0 news, so please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.